I drew for 30 days inconsistently.
In the design and art industry for about probably 2 decades now, or majority of my life, because I'm currently 24 years old. From my childhood, wherein I drew a lot of anime characters from Goku to Naruto, Sasuke, all those stuff, the OG ones, and then transitioning to anime characters to doing portrait drawings. When I was probably in my high school days, I did realistic drawings using soft pastels and charcoals, and it was actually fun. The transition from it was, I felt like I was actually doing something more on a professional side, even though I was just doing it for my hobby, and my parents just really enrolled me into this art class in the middle of a mall in Alabang, here in the Philippines. And after in which, that's when I actually took architecture as my own course. I've been exposed with freehand technical drawings that are all related to architecture and design. I also did digital drawings that require us to do perspectives and realistic renders. But even though I'm already out of the education system, the question is, should learning stop? So I've actually told myself that, okay, I want to get back to doing freehand drawings again. The drawing that you actually do intentionally, or just simply just drawing and having fun, and really just getting back to seeing if you've actually improved day on and day out, creating something for people to see, especially now that social media is a way for you to get famous or to actually have your creations seen. But of course, these are just thoughts, and thoughts are completely different from doing work, and thoughts are completely different from outputs. So I pretty much had a lot of questions in my mind that actually had a lot of friction, a lot of thoughts in my mind that actually led me to delay some of the things that I actually wanted to do. So these are the questions that led me from delaying and actually having an inconsistent 30-day drawing. But before anything else, I would like to actually tell you something that may actually sound insulting, but tough love only, bro. You may actually have a very short attention span because of the social media nowadays, the content creations, the shorts, the TikTok videos, the FB shorts, all those stuff that may actually lead to us having a very short attention span. But that's okay. I'm just requesting you to actually just sit and put your focus, stop scrolling, stop checking through the comments, and just give your full attention for you to actually see whether this video is going to be helpful or not. So first question or first fiction that I had in my mind is how and when to start, or you can actually turn around the question, when and how to start. A lot of designers, creators, artists actually have this friction in their minds, especially if we have a blank canvas or blank paper that we have in front of them. So when I had this question in my mind, the first thing that I did was to not actually draw, but to actually buy a course online. It's an art course, I believe, from Domestika. Don't worry, this is not a paid advertisement or anything like that, but it's just more of like how I really did my process into getting back to drawing. So I bought the course of, I believe, David Morales and Adam Luke Hawker. They're two very amazing monochromatic artists who use their pen, basically just ball pens or fine tip pens for their artwork. And these courses actually cost for about $30 to 700 pesos here in the Philippines. Very, very cheap. So April 18 was the first day of when I actually started drawing. As you can see here,
First with drawing the basic shapes of a rectangle, trying to do or actually really practicing what David Morales have actually taught me in his course, to actually use different hatches and just literally applying another hatch to actually apply shadows and shades. And then afterwards, I am literally just observing whatever I can here in my room, from the light switch to an Elmo figurine that I have here at home, and then other architectural sketches, drawing my dog, Russell, the gate, and then the JBL speakers that my sister owns. Literally just drawing whatever you can see. Also, my water jug, aqua flasks you can see, then applying the hatches that you've actually learned from through the basics, applying it to these sketches, my workstation, the tabletop of our theater room. You know, you can actually improve by just applying the things that you've learned from the basics. And then what's my problem is I've actually switched from doing hatches and observational or references type of drawing to basically anatomy and human sketches. It's probably because I got affected by what I see in social media. And then going back again to the references, going outside my house and then seeing my neighbor. Here's another interior or indoor render that I did that is actually very incomplete. And then back to anatomy. Back to skeleton drawings again, a bunch of skulls. And then there's another headset of mine that I just literally just drew. Here's another dining area that I have applied now, more getting complex and complex with my drawings and sketches, then applying the hatches, then going back again to my water jug and applying different angles and perspectives to it. So yeah.
But if you ask me, I think the thing that I'm going to tell younger me is to actually start now and to, not wait. So basically, ngayon na. Do the work now. Don't delay the things that you were actually supposed to do. Because the more you delay things, the higher the percentage of you not actually doing the creative work that you were actually planning to do. Or in our instance, the thought that our minds created of, what if I create this one? What if gumawa ako ng art or ng creation that I can actually post online and to have at least a traffic that can be used for possibly me having my own business. We didn't have to complicate things that much, and of course, easier said than done, but understand this one. Creations are made by a creator through the process of creating. So basically, if there's no movement, if there's no progress, if there's no work in your side, you won't be actually getting an output in the end. And second fiction that I had, and probably a lot of artists as well are having, especially if they're just getting back or just actually starting their own drawing habit something, is what art style should I actually pick? Because of course, it's being exposed nowadays in social media can actually lead us to seeing a lot of content creators, a lot of artists, a lot of influencers that actually have a lot of great art, great perspectives, if they're an architect, and I've dealt with this one. I have a separate account in my IG that follows a lot of content creators, and of course, nakakapagod siya, parang it's a bit saddening to see. Not really saddening, but more of jealous type. It's not a good thing, but it leads you to not actually start because you'll see that there's a lot of good people out there. But, the thing is to actually start now. My solution for this one, which actually sort of like worked for me, is to actually start with what's comfortable for you. So since I've done soft pastel when I was younger, charcoal, other stuff, I've made a choice to actually, why not start with a monochromatic drawing, just like Adam, Luke Hawker, and David Morales. So I bought some pens from Muji, pens from Unipin that I can actually use as my own medium, and I think it's better to actually start with what you're comfortable with instead of starting off with a lot of things that may be complicating and can actually lead you to actually have a bigger and a lot of friction when starting a new habit. And the next question for this one is, why did you choose this art style? Because then and then again, once you choose, for example, I've chosen mathematic and then I'm going to be on social media on my breaks, I'll see a lot of art styles again that will lead me to question myself, why did I even choose this? There's a lot of different art styles that can be easier or that can be more creative in a way. You can use painting, oil paint, water paint, digital paint. That's a bit easier or not actually sure. But my reasoning for this one are because it was at first very comfortable for me again to just use something that I have been exposed with. So I wasn't really into more of like a colored blender or something, but more of just like one shade because I've been used to doing charcoal drawings. I mean, the people who you see in some malls, I've actually done the stalls that actually have a lot of artworks in it, portraits of different famous artists and characters. I did those things, so I was used to actually doing those types of arts. I believe, or I'm not actually used to doing renders of very colored or multicolored type of artwork, and probably I might actually do it soon. But for now, I think I'll just really go with something that's more comfortable with me and less friction. Second is because of the course that I took and the artists in there what became my inspiration of what art style to actually pick. So Adam Luker is very very good in terms of doing scribbling drawings or scribbling lines that form a tree-like, or his artworks are mostly trees, and he is really good in terms of making his own story out of those trees. And I really like the way he does his linings or he does his strokes. It's very very light, but it gives a lot of texture in the tree. Second is David Morales. David Morales is very good in terms of being able to narrate his daily journals into visual journals. He is very good into observing things around him and doing it simply into his own perspective or into his own way of producing art. And I have sort of like adapted it with my own work. I try to observe the things that I see in my room, in my house, seeing whatever I can see, and then just literally just trying to do it. Sticking with one style can actually be very boring. But understand that this one can actually lead you, and this one can actually be the key to mastery. And then that's it. Afterwards, the cycle will just repeat. You question yourself again, how should I start? When should I start? What art style should I pick? And then you choose one, and then you actually question yourself again, why did I even choose this art style? And then you have your own reason of why you actually chose this. This leads you to actually producing something again. As you can see, finishing one drawing can be very rewarding. And if I'll be honest, while getting back to the drawings that I've actually did 2 to 3 months ago, it was actually very rewarding, and I felt very appreciative of my younger self for actually doing the work, doing the sketches, even though I know that I had a lot of things to do, but because I really wanted to work on this habit, I sort of like did the work. Now I'm seeing the progress, I'm seeing that I'm having, or I was able to produce outputs day in and day out despite the intervals in betweens. So yeah. And if I'll be honest, this might be a bit of a clickbait for you guys for me telling you that I do 40 days consistently. But I wanted this to be as realistic as possible and to tell you that there are going to be days that you're not in your best mood. You're going to be having interval days of what you've actually told yourself to do so. But the thing is, I believe that being consistent is actually not doing it straight days, but rather doing it despite the intervals that you're having, despite having, for example, days that you're not feeling well. What's consistent for me is actually to get back to it and to actually do the work despite all the things that you're actually dealing with. May it be with work, may it be with your personal life, family life. The thing is, when you actually told yourself to do something, promise yourself that you're going to do it, and the results will just be there. Improvement can happen when we do the work that's aligned to what we're trying to achieve. Less on the consumption, then more on the production, more on the creation. Because we are creators, we are artists, we are designers, so we should actually be creating. Let's lessen our consumption on positive creations. So before I let you go today, promise me, or no, promise yourself that you're going to start today. Not to me, but yourself. Let the work begin. Let the confusion begin. Hayaan mo magkamali ka kasi it's going to be part of your progress. You're going to see that you grow, have a growth mindset instead of having a fixed mindset. Understand that 1 to 2 years later, or a couple of months after, I'm going to get better from who am I today as long as I do the work every single day, day in and day out. But, one thing or another thing that I really want to actually tell you guys is, even though you want to do the hard work, have a little compassion for yourself that, okay, there's going to be down times for myself, and it's going to be okay to actually have a time where I actually rest, but understand that resting is different from scrolling through social media or going through your video games for a couple of hours for the whole day. Rest for your creative rest, and then get back to it, then simply just produce the positive creations that we're talking about. If you've reached the end of this video, I would like to give back something to you. If you happen to have anything fitness related, architecture related, design and art, or whatever that is about your life, feel free to comment down below or to actually message me through the social media links down below. I'm very, very willing to actually have a conversation with you. If you want to have a video call or just a chat about something, and I'm going to be all ears with whatever you want to share.
With this, be in action and focus on what matters. I'll see you in the next one, bro. Mwah!